Stop. Don't scroll for just 60 seconds. Not because I want your attention, but because I can hear what your nervous system has been trying to say. Right now, you might feel like you're drowning, not in water, in noise. Notifications, opinions, bills, deadlines, family tension, and that constant mental habit of replaying the past and rehearsing the worst future. And if you're looking for a hack, a quick routine, a 10-minute fix, I understand why. When life feels unstable, the mind begs for something simple, but you're looking in the wrong direction. There is a philosophy over 2,300 years old, built for people who lived through chaos, uncertainty, exile, sickness, betrayal, and still refused to be ruled by it. It was shaped in a burning city, refined by a former slave who became a teacher, practiced by an emperor who had the world and still fought anxiety. And it doesn't promise you a life without problems. It promises something better, a way to meet problems without losing yourself. Today, we're going through the 5 pillars of Stoicism, not as a history lesson, but as a calm, practical operating manual for your inner life. And I want you to stay until the last pillar, because pillar 5 is where Stoicism stops being inspiring and becomes usable. Before we begin, I want to name something gently. A lot of what you call stress is actually powerlessness. It's the feeling that life is happening at you, that no matter how hard you try, the world stays unpredictable and your mind keeps paying the bill. Stoicism starts with a quiet question: what is mine to handle and what is not? And when you truly learn that difference, a surprising thing happens. Your mind becomes less reactive, your choices become clearer, and your life stops feeling like a constant emergency. Let's start with the pillar that calms anxiety at the root. Pillar 1, the dichotomy of control, the anxiety killer. Let's begin with a truth that can feel almost too simple. Much of your suffering comes from trying to control what you cannot, not because you're foolish, but because you're human. When something matters, the mind reaches. It tries to manage outcomes, other people, timing, fairness, the past. Epictetus, one of the great Stoics, said it plainly: some things are up to us and some are not. And you can feel that sentence like a deep exhale, because if you're honest, a lot of your mental energy goes into things that aren't actually yours to command. Other people's moods, whether someone appreciates you, whether your effort is rewarded, whether life makes sense this week. Stoicism doesn't call you to stop caring. It teaches you where to place your care so it stops turning into panic. Picture this: it's late, you're in bed, and the mind starts its favorite loop. What if I lose my job? What if I never figure this out? What if I made the wrong choice? What if they leave? You try to think your way to safety, but every thought opens 3 more doors. Here's the Stoic move. You don't wrestle every thought, you sort them, because not every thought deserves your attention. Some thoughts are just the mind trying to feel in control. Do this with me, really. Take your biggest stress right now and split it into 2 lists. List 1, what's in my control. List 2, what's not. If your stress is, I might get rejected, then not in your control, someone else's decision. Not in your control, their preferences, their timing, their mood. But in your control, how you prepare, how you show up, how you speak, how you follow up, how you keep going if it doesn't work. And this isn't motivational fluff, it's neurological. Anxiety feeds on the illusion that you must control the uncontrollable. When you stop trying, your nervous system finally gets permission to come down. Think of life like poker. You don't choose the cards, you don't choose what other people are holding, but you do choose the next best move with what you have. That's the Stoic definition of strength. Not controlling the world, controlling your response. Marcus Aurelius wrote to himself, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." So, here's your small practice today. When you feel yourself tightening, ask softly, "Is this mine?" If it's not, you can release it. Not because it doesn't matter, but because your mind matters too much to waste. Now, Pillar 1 gives you clarity, but even when you let go of what you can't control, life can still hurt. So the next pillar isn't about control, it's about meaning. Pillar 2, Amor Fati, the superpower. The first pillar says, don't cling to outcomes. The second pillar goes deeper. Don't waste what happens to you. Stoicism has a phrase that sounds intense, but it's surprisingly gentle when you understand it. Amor Fati, a love of fate. Not a love of suffering, not pretending everything is good. A love of reality as it is, because reality is the only place you can build from. Let's make it real. Someone gets left, and their mind immediately tries to protect them by creating a story. A story like, I'm unlovable, I always get abandoned, I'll never trust again. And at first, it feels like certainty, but it's actually a wound trying to become a worldview. Amor Fati interrupts that. It says, this hurts. Of course it hurts. But what is this shaping in? Because pain becomes poison when you only swallow it. Pain becomes power when you metabolize it. When life hits you, the untrained mind asks, why me? The Stoic mind asks, what now? What can I learn? What does this require of me? Seneca said, fate leads the willing and drags along the reluctant. Life will move either way. The only choice is whether you move with it or get dragged while you fight what's already true. And let's be careful here. Stoicism isn't saying everything happens for a reason. Sometimes things happen because people are careless, because bodies get sick, because accidents happen. Stoicism says something more practical. Even if life is unfair, you still get to decide what you become. That's where your dignity lives. So try this. When something unwanted happens this week, say quietly, I wouldn't have chosen this, but I can use this. Not as a slogan, as a turning point. Pillar 2 gives you meaning, but meaning requires urgency because time is not guaranteed. That brings us to the pillar that wakes you up without scaring you. Pillar 3, Memento Mori, the wake-up call. We need to talk about something we all avoid, not because it's dark, but because it's powerful. Death, not in a dramatic way, in a clarifying way. Stoicism uses the reminder of mortality like medicine, not to make you anxious, to make you awake. Memento Mori, remember you will die. And because of that, remember to live on purpose. Most people don't waste their life in one big decision. They waste it in later. Later I'll take care of my health. Later I'll apologize. Later I'll start the thing. Later I'll stop numbing out. And later is a gentle thief. It doesn't attack you, it lulls you, until one day you look back and realize your life wasn't stolen, it was slowly traded away. Memento Mori isn't morbid, it's a hand on your shoulder saying, please don't sleepwalk through this. There's a story that Roman generals, during their victory parades, had someone remind them, you are mortal. Whether every detail is literal or not, the point is timeless. Even at your highest moment, you are still human, and at your lowest moment, you are still alive. So don't let pride make you reckless, and don't let despair make you small. Try this tonight. Pick one ordinary part of your day, your morning coffee, your commute, your bed, your hands, and simply remember, this ends. Not to panic, to cherish, because gratitude becomes natural when you stop assuming you're owed tomorrow, and resentment becomes harder to justify when you realize how brief everything is. So ask, if I had less time than I think, what would I stop doing? What would I start doing? Who would I treat different? Memento Mori brings urgency, but urgency without perspective can become pressure. So the next pillar gives you perspective, a way to shrink your problems back down to their real size.
Pillar 4, the view from above, the ego softener. There's a Stoic exercise called the view from above. It's not meant to make you feel insignificant. It's meant to make you feel less trapped.
Because when you're anxious, the mind zooms in. It makes one email feel like a verdict, one awkward moment feel like a permanent stain. The view from above zooms out. Imagine yourself where you are right now. Now zoom out. See the room, the building, the street, the city. Zoom out further, see the country, the planet, and notice what happens. The problem is still there, but it stops filling the entire sky. Shame is one of the most claustrophobic emotions. It convinces you that one moment defines you, but zoom out. Billions of people have said the wrong thing, made a mistake, trusted the wrong person, lost their way for a while. Your pain isn't proof you're broken, it's proof you're human. And when you remember that, you stop treating your life like a courtroom. You start treating it like a path. Seneca wrote, "The whole future lies in uncertainty. Live immediately." Not recklessly, immediately, as in presently. So here's how Pillar 4 helps in real life. When your mind catastrophizes, ask, will this matter in a week, a year, 10 years? And if it won't, don't give it 10 years of your nervous system today. Perspective calms the mind. But there's still one place where we lose ourselves fastest. That tiny moment between what happens and how we react. That's where Pillar 5 lives. Pillar 5, the discipline of assent, the final filter. Epictetus said, "It's not things that upset us, but our judgments about things." The world sends you stimuli all day long. A comment, insult, temptation, rejection, uncertainty. In the mind creates an instant interpretation, an impression. Here's the secret. You don't have to accept every impression is truth. Stoics called this skill the discipline of assent, the ability to pause and decide what you agree with. In that pause is your freedom. Someone cuts you off. The impression arrives instantly. How dare they? They're an idiot. They disrespected me. Now this is important. Stoicism doesn't say you won't feel the first surge. It says you can choose what happens next, because the second surge, the spiral, the rage, the ruined mood, often comes from the story you add. So you practice. An event occurred. I feel heat. I do not need to add a verdict. Maybe they're reckless. Maybe they're rushing to the hospital. Maybe they're just human. Either way, do they deserve control over your nervous system for the next hour? Viktor Frankl wrote, "Between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space is our power to choose our response." The Stoic trains to widen that space, not to become emotionless, but to become less manipulable. So when you feel jealousy, pause. When you feel the urge to lash out, pause. When you want to send the message that will make things worse, pause. Then ask 3 questions like a calm therapist would. Is it true? Is it kind? Is it necessary? And if the answer is no, you don't assent. You let it pass like weather. Here's a practice you can do in 10 seconds. When a thought appears, label it. Just label it. Worry, anger, old story, prediction, comparison. And notice, the moment you label it, you're no longer inside it. You become the one watching. That's not spiritual, that's psychological freedom. So here they are, the 5 pillars. 1. The dichotomy of control. Know what is yours. 2. Amor Fati. Don't waste what happens. Use it. 3. Memento Mori. Remember you will die, and let that sharpen your life. 4. The view from above. Zoom out, shrink the drama to its true size. 5. The discipline of assent. Choose what you let into your mind. Stoicism doesn't promise you a life without problems. It promises a self that doesn't collapse under them. If you want to actually use this, don't try to become a Stoic in one night. Try a week. Day 1, make the 2 lists, control versus not control. Day 2, catch one impression and refuse to feed it. Day 3, practice Amor Fati. Turn one setback into one lesson. Day 4, Memento Mori. Write what matters most. 1 paragraph. Day 5, view from above. Zoom out when you feel overwhelmed. Day 6, assent training. Pause before one reactive message. Day 7, repeat the hardest day. Small practice, big consequence. And if you're going through something heavy right now, I want to say this plainly. You're not failing because it hurts. It hurts because you're alive and you care. Stoicism doesn't ask you to deny that. It asks you to meet pain with clarity and meet life with dignity. So today, don't try to fix everything. Just do the next right thing in the part of life that belongs to you. The world will stay loud, but you don't have to be. If this helped you breathe a little deeper, save it. Send it to someone who's carrying more than they admit. And if you want more calm, practical stoicism like this, you can subscribe, not for hype, for steadiness. I'll see you next time.